Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Session Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Wheel of Time, Season 3, Episode 6, The Shadow in the Night. This should have been called The Hills of Tanchico. But I think this episode tonally was all over the place, which I both enjoyed and I also got a little stressed and a little frustrated about. But overall, another great episode. This does definitely feel like a little bit of a transition episode where like this is gonna catapult um, our characters into their big finale. Looks like the next episode is gonna be a big battle episode, and then of course we're gonna have to wrap things up with episode 8. We're almost done with the Wheel of Time. I can't believe how quickly the season always just kind of slips through my fingers. I wish I could channel really hard and bring it back, but then I might get the madness. So, all right, we're gonna get into spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, make sure to go check it out. Come back. We're gonna talk about the highlights here. We begin with Tenchiko. 95 years ago, we see a young Leandrin and her son, who we met, and amongst this whole chaos, she manages to escape her captors. She channels. She kills some people, and then as she's looking for help, of course she doesn't find any. But she does eventually meet Ishmael, which is really fun to see again. Obviously, that character is dead in present day, but I think we'll be able to kind of revisit the character in flashback. So that'll be really fun. Back in present day, the Black Kaja are planning to collar the dragon. That's we know that's been their mission. That's why they're trying to get the bracelets and the collar, and trying to bring Rand under their control. But there's more to this. There's some machinations behind Leandrin's plan. We also catch up with Nynaeve and Elaine, who are in Tenchiko, um, who are trying to look for the Black Aja as well. They kind of are undercover right now, right? Which is really fun to see. This episode for this part of the cast felt it gave them some moments of levity and fun to really contrast one really messed up scene that we'll talk about in a minute. We also see that Lanfear visits Moraine in her dreams. They talk a little bit about the plans. I feel like Lanfear and Moraine have been kind of on the same page, but as things escalate and as they discover more things, especially after everything that Moraine saw in the rings, of obviously she's a lot more wary of Lanfear. We catch up with Perrin, who was hurt after the battle in the last episode. Also, Alana's hurt, so there's no one who can heal Perrin and no one who can heal Alana. Aes Sedai can't heal themselves, but don't worry, anybody who can channel can probably lend a hand. So that's we're gonna get into later on. Matt also runs into Thom Merrilin, who's the bard. I I don't remember if we met this character last season or a couple of seasons ago, but either way, yeah, Matt runs into him. Tom doesn't want to get involved anymore in anything because last time he barely made it out with his life. But Matt just buys him a drink. They get to chatting. We also see that Mogideon is the weirdest character. She's undercover in Leandrin's group, kind of pretending to be the help. But man, she's like spitting in their food and like touching everything. It's disgusting. Like, really, really great job by this character because Mogideon is a 100% weirdo. Then we see Lanfear and Egwene. She finally faces her inner dreams. Lanfear casts out the wise ones that were helping Egwene, trying to like train and practice. And they finally have a face to face as well. Um, you know, Egwene's it's able to get away because she's had a little bit of training. She also has that backup of the like the pin that falls that she can hear so she can wake up. It reminds me a lot of the kickback on Inception. If you've ever seen that, that's kind of how they wake up themselves there. Moraine and Rand also talk, and I feel like Rand is kind of losing it. Like he's been losing it this whole time. And this episode is gonna be something that leads to maybe a big change in Rand's personality. Um, Anytime that Rand starts to like picture this power, he almost shakes the world, which is like it just looks really cool on the screen. Um, Elaine has to sing her way out of trouble, as some people discover that she might have been the heir. Obviously, she is undercover, so she kind of Tom Merlin helps with a song, the Hills of Tanchico, which is a very catchy tune. You'll hear it again at the end of the credits, not the video, but like at the end of the credits in the actual episode. And in the inside of the episode, you get to kind of hear how they kind of came up with this concept, and they realized that Elaine could sing, like all the actress who portrays Elaine could sing, and they wanted her to have a singing episode, and this is kind of what came out of that. So that's really fun. Um, Alana, as she's trying to recover, she's very hurt. She's way more hurt than Perrin. Perrin was able to treat his wounds with like herbs, and I feel like also being a wolf brother maybe gives him a little bit of like a healing ability. I'm not sure. I could just be making that up, but I feel like his constitution's a little bit, stronger. But the twins that were rescued earlier, they we knew that one of them, or and discovered that both of them can actually channel. So Alana helps the twins channel so that they can help her heal. So she's back up on her feet. Then Mogideon ambushes Elaine and Nynaeve after they've had a great night of fun. They found one of the bracelets that they were looking for, which the search for these items feels a little bit too convenient, but I'm gonna give this a pass because they did have to travel far. But yeah, they just kind of happened upon the bracelet thanks to Matt and some of his throwing money around. But yeah, they this is probably the most eerie scene of them all because Mogideon does like a spell uh, to their heads to kind of control them, make them very like just respond to her in a very candid way, which is obviously like this offsets the tone of the scene because we know that they are in trouble, but they're laughing and giggling and complying with everything. Nynaeve does fight a little bit, but ultimately Mogideon ends up taking the bracelet and kind of erasing this confrontation from their mind, so they don't even remember what's happened to them. But Nynaeve does she does have a scar in her cheek to remember the confrontation by Egwene finally confronts Rand about Lanfear and her dreams and everything. I think she feels betrayed. This truly feels like they were kind of breaking up. And they even talk about that in the inside of the episode. But it feels like this is as far as their relationship's gonna go for now, at least. Um, but the main thing that Egwene wants to know is, did Rand know that Lanfear was the one giving her those nightmares? Like how much did he really know about what she was doing? Um, and last but not least, after that conference, after Egwene and Rand are talking, they're ambushed by some Forsaken. I forget the name of this Forsaken. It's not Raven. It's the other one that we saw in that meeting the other day. But after some fighting, Rand is able to channel and handles him very easily. But Alcera, the little girl that Rand had been friends with, is collateral damage. The building falls and she was inside. Rand tries his best to bring her back. Um, I was wondering, like, is he gonna be able to bring her back? Like, with he is the Dragon Reborn. Like, does he have enough juice to make that happen? And if he does bring her back, would she come back as the normal, like a normal Sarah? Would she come back as something else? Ultimately, he's unable to bring her back from the dead. So I guess we know that there are limits to the power of the Dragon Reborn. Um, Lastly, we know that the White Cloaks have been regrouping, and war is coming to the Two Rivers. And I think next week we're gonna get a big battle episode, like the big budget episode of the season. So I'm looking very much forward to that. So, like I mentioned, as I talked about it, I kind of got a little bit more into the episode. So I'm glad I do this type of stuff to kind of rethread and go over some of the major highlights. But yeah, Rand, that scene was very powerful. Both the confrontation with Egwene and Rand, it was very powerful. And then also Rand experiencing that loss. Like they talked about there's a few events in the books and in the series that will shape Rand's character, and this was probably one of them. I don't think this is something he'll forget soon. So if you watch this episode, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Let me know anything I missed that was important that we should kind of talk about. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.